I say, chaps, Halloween again already? Well, you can't let all the kiddies have all the fun. Nothing like a good be positive on Halloween.
Alright, and welcome back everybody to another vlog. I'm going to keep this one short, sharp and sweet. Well, I'm going to keep my speaking a little bit shorter, sharper and sweeter, and I'm going to let you enjoy this video. It's basic this week, but it's very important, and we're talking about stretching. So in terms of stretching, why do we do it? What does it do? What are the pros and cons, etc.? Well, let's dive in. So when we think about stretching and mobility and we think about it in terms of strength training, a lot of people think that, it's either, overlooked or it's not necessary, etc. But I can tell you for general mobility and even longevity, it definitely is, and it will increase performance. Now, stretching is something that can be a hard habit to attain. It can be a hard habit to get into and continuously do. So for myself, I started about 6 months ago religiously stretching after having a few aches and pains, nothing major, but I just wasn't feeling optimal and I felt really inflexible to the point where it was getting a bit of a joke. And one of my friends that I follow on YouTube, shout out the Natty Professor, Nasima, he had this stretching series called the Smooth Panther, which you guys can look up, and I would advise looking up. It's a great little series that he's put together with a compendium of stretches, what I'm doing here, and it's a good introduction to start getting into the rhyme, the rhythm, the habit of stretching and helping you progress with your flexibility and your mobility. Now, if you're a strength-based athlete and you are looking at getting stronger and bigger, no, you do not have to be as flexible as a contortionist or a gymnast. However, you do need to be to maintain a certain level of flexibility, especially when you're putting your muscles and your body and your bones and your skeletal system, etc., under this much pressure. So when we look at static stretching, we look at stretching in this static position, as you can see here. And we want to be holding these stretches anywhere from a minimum of 30 seconds up to 2 minutes. Now, a couple of housekeeping rules here is, first of all, you never want to force a stretch. You want to start off with whatever flexibility or range of motion you can do, and you want to do variations of which you can do. So here I'm just running through a few basic stretches. This is my own routine that I do 3 to 4 days a week now. I started off doing it every day initially, and it took me about 6 weeks to see a lot of benefits. It's very important to breathe when you stretch. I know we've all heard this before, and a lot of us know what to do, we just don't do it. So when you're breathing, you are helping oxygenate the body, you're helping move deeper into the stretch, and you can actually relax and get into, if you like, a meditative state, which really is just time for yourself in your own thoughts and to center yourself. So if you can get into this rhyme and rhythm, put your ear pods in, put on some music, spend time with your friends or your partner every day, and I guarantee eventually you'll look forward to it. And you will miss it if you don't stretch, because you're going to start to feel a lot better. It is hard to get into, but I can guarantee once you start and you continue, you will see the benefits. However, you do not want to do static stretching in or around your high intensity work, so your main strength training exercises. And the reason being is we can overstretch the muscle, the tendon, and the ligaments, and it can increase the risk of injury and decrease performance. Now, there is a caveat to that, because you can do some static stretches in between and before strength training, bespoke to mobility or injury, etc., or injury prevention. However, a general rule of thumb is you don't want to be stretching for long periods of time in like these stretches which you see here before strength training, because it can take up to 72 hours for the muscles, the ligaments, and tendons to come back to their original elasticity, if you like. So if you think about muscles as an elastic band, so they have this kinetic or this elasticity, this what we call stretch shortening cycle ability, the stretch shortening reflex, which gives us explosive power. If we overstretch the elastic band, we can then take away its elasticity element, that power, that retort, that tension, but also we can increase the risk of injury because we can almost overstretch it. So again, I'm not going to go into that in too much more detail, but as a rule of thumb, keep your static stretching away from your strength training. So for example, if you train in the morning, do your stretching at night, etc. Something else to keep in mind with these stretches is to go through a range of stretches and start off basic and then continually advance them over time, and then find what works for you. Now these stretches that I'm doing here, they all have different names, and there's different variations. Like some people call this the downward dog, some people call this the sad puppy, etc. So I mean, look, I'm not too concerned with the names. I just find a range of stretches at which I can move through, which actually help and alleviate my muscles. So for me, I always have to work on my quadriceps. I have very dominant quads, and they're very tight. Also my lower back, the straddle, that first stretch I was doing, very, very, very good for that. And I move through a different range, which you'll see here. So don't take this as gospel, team. Take it as a grain of salt, but start incorporating a stretching routine into your habit. There's nothing lighthearted or stupid about stretching. It's very serious. We were meant to stretch. And if you start incorporating this into your routine, like I've said, you will notice the benefits greatly. So I'm going to leave it there. There is a couple of videos in the background as well of my current strength training routine. We're going to talk about that in future videos because I've actually changed things up. I've gone through lately, the past 6 months, more of an intensification phase, meaning I've put more emphasis on the big movements and to gain strength and skill acquisition. And now I'm going to be switching my focus more back to volume or accumulation, if you like, and becoming more of a bodybuilder again, which is my primary focus anyway. So guys, as always, thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for weekly videos and podcasts, and much, much more coming soon, including, yes, the Academy. It is finally here, very, very soon, the next couple of days, or if you're watching this, it's probably out now. So click that website, find out what all the fuss is about, start educating yourself, get smart, and start training more intelligently. And then you can emphasize and put the pressure on. So, guys, thank you as always for watching. Happy Halloween, and until the next time, stay fearless.
Nothing like a fresh batch of blood on Halloween. Absolutely first class. All right, chaps, off we go.